News Interactive is brought to you by
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right, time now for Joy News Interactive. If is back.
Yes, and it's time to hear from you on the interactive segment brought to you by Airtel. Enjoy more talk, longer text, and all the internet browsing with an Airtel Too Much pack. Just dial *202#. Please join us with your comments on facebook.com/Joy News on TV, Twitter @Joy News on TV, and on WhatsApp, the number is 05608 00000. The number again, 05608 100,000. Please add your name and location to your WhatsApp message when sending it through.
What has happened is, in election years, trade unions and everybody sees that government is in a vulnerable place. And so that's when demonstrations and things, agitations for increased pay and all that begin to happen. And because of the sensitivity of the period and probably the fear of losing elections, government, normally would give in to some of these pressures. And before you see, the budget is out of sync. And then when elections are over and government is installed, you have to start the belt tightening all over again. The advantage going for me is I've seen more demonstrations and strikes in my first 2 years. I don't think it can get worse in the second 2 years. And it is said that when you kill the goat and you frighten it with a knife, it doesn't fear the knife because it's dead already. So I have the dead goat syndrome going forward.
Who doesn't remember that famous dead goat syndrome code? Well, dead goat or not, the demonstrations continue, probably because the president said this later on.
Using it to exaggerate a point, and it was taken out of context completely, and I'm a living goat. Not a dead goat.
So based on that, the president being a living goat, hundreds of workers poured onto the streets of the various regional capitals to protest the high cost of living. Now, it is always a debate about whether these demonstrations really matter, since there have been a number of them over the past few years, and this is what some of you had to say.
If the government, he will listen on the nation, the people of the Ghana, if the government will listen, then it will help. But all this demonstration, to me, he already said, in Ethiopia, so they are doing it for nothing. He won't listen, because always he said, in Ethiopia, if you have Ethiopia, fresh year in January, people go on this thing, Christmas and come back, all the pocket is empty. Why are you pressing us? Just say, I don't understand this government.
Whether as the government will listen to their demands and act upon, that's another matter. But as for impact, it will have it.
I go Malata, from there I go join the demonstration. Thank you.
A demonstration now is not helping. It's not helping. What we need is an effective demonstration on these tariffs. Continuous demonstration.
Governments at times, if you do it at a go and you don't repeat, then of course they won't listen. So what I want is that after they should follow up with other actions. I'm just going down there.
So you're going to join?
Yes.
Actually, I'm not sure to have any impact because the government have already told us that whether we do demonstrate or not, there will be no impact. So there is no need to demonstrate.
Views from the streets. Well, we pose the question, will this demonstration yield the needed results on social media, Facebook in particular? Israel has your comments. Israel.
Right. Yes, so as you asked, the question is, will the demonstrations yield the needed results? And we have, more than 172 likes and 17 shares. So Michael SL says, workers should keep quiet and go back to work before this government increases the tariffs again. Have you people forgotten the dead goat Masa won't you be and it won't go anywhere. You people just waste your time. Sunday says, how would they yield the needed results under this I'm aware Apuskileke government? They know that we're suffering, yet they only think of governance and not the governed. Perhaps another health walk by Ghanaians. Any knife for a dead goat meat? Ha 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 ha. And Umar Arun says, I think it will, because no government wants to be unpopular, but these series of demonstrations will definitely make the government so. I urge the leadership of organized labor to stand firm on the program lineup until government heeds to their call. Manuel Quay says, President Mohammed's compassionate travel to Guantanamo Bay for more terrorists. Treacherous, incompetent, heartless, clueless, visionless, insensitive terrorists, corrupt lies, purposeless and wicked administration must fall. Dovi says, government knows that there will be a protest against the hike, so provisions were made to contain that. Asante Ofer says, ha ha ha, what a mega demo. The look on faces of the security officers shows they are also demonstrating more than the civil workers simple. And then Citizen General says, a dead goat yesterday remains dead goat today and will continue to be insensitive to the plight of Ghanaians.
Please, the president says he is a living goat. And this one is from John in Nalerigu. He says, the TUC is not doing labor any good at all. They should not have waited for the government to come out with all these before they negotiated for a salary increase. This one is from Shifman Osei. He says, I can only hope and pray that our compassionate dead goat will listen to the cry of the suffering Ghanaian workers. A better Ghana indeed. This one is from Nelson in Chiriponi. He says, I believe the government is listening. I believe the government is a listening one, and I think the TUC should continue to negotiate and the necessary results will be realized. This one says, thankfully, organized labor had a peaceful protest. I hope their demands are giving attention. It is not entirely stunning. It is only in the Ashanti region that teachers deserted the classrooms, and leaders of organized labor in that region alone have already declared a strike even before a meeting at the Flagstaff House tomorrow if Jesus tarries. Well, actually, in Tamale, the teachers also deserted classrooms, and this one is from Barima Osei Asare, who says John Mahama is resolute and remains focused. Okay, this one says, if TUC couldn't resolve the issues on the table, how much more taking it to the streets is a failure on the part of leadership of the various TUs. This one is from Ibn Bawa in Tamale. And then my final comment says, oh, Mother Ghana, are we safe? Our light bills are too much. And that's from Roxin in Odai. Why won't Ghanaians demonstrate though? Roxin is saying his light bills are too much, and Ghanaians we've heard on the news tonight feel they are living hand to mouth. Now, Asia, I'm in a WhatsApp group, and yesterday people on the group just started talking about how much it costs, how much the electricity is running, and how much it even costs to buy food to feed their families. And I mean, yeah, you can't blame them. They believe that, you know, they are paying astronomical amounts of money, okay? And it seems that my group, you know, is not far off, because we told you about the ambitious plan by the electricity company to ensure Ghanaians have constant flow of power. But are you ready for the bills? Are you ready for the bills coming your way? Right now, there are concerns about the meters that are being used. Apparently, electricity is running rather fast, especially for the prepaid users. Let's see what people are saying on Facebook. We posted a question actually.
Right, so the question is right here. And I'm also on a WhatsApp group, and I'm going to be sharing it with you in a bit. That's why I said the new terminologies are coming up. So I'm going to share that with you in a bit. But the question we've posed is we've been gathering concerns about people seeing their prepaid credit for electricity run abnormally fast. Share your experience with us. And there are 3 shares, more than 170 likes, and 150 comments. So Benjamin says, you the media people have failed us. You come and hear our bitterness and later go to bed with the government. The only option left for us is to travel abroad. ECG is stealing us. we don't have anyone to listen. And then
read some of the replies.
For replies. So
Read
I'm going to go there. So Stephen Kwashi says, nonsense. You think running away abroad like a coward will solve your problem? Master, stay and be the change that you want to see. And Benjamin says, I'm not surprised of your insults. May God forgive you. So it was Benjamin who started, and somebody replied and says, and then Patrick says, please, easy. And Benjamin says, no, I won't exchange insults with him. If he knows who I am, I think he won't do that. Oh, really? People come on Facebook and say, do you know who I am? Really? Okay, Steven Try says, I was even told that I owe ECG at the prepaid vendor's office, but I guess it is pay as you go. Hey, Ghana. And we also have Chief Dean Chambers. No need to share experiences here. All I want everyone to do is please remember all the hardship and show Mr. Incompetent the exit, period. So going back to the comments I was telling you about, and so this one says,
on your WhatsApp group.
On my WhatsApp group, Franklin Kujo shares this. The situation where you have lights and yet you can't use it because it is so expensive, it's called minso.
So that's a new term.
You will be forced to do the power rationing yourself. And then I have another one. It goes like warabedum. I mean, you see the rate at which the power is going off and the electricity is running, and then you decide that you turn it off yourself.
And I have quite a bit of WhatsApp comments here. This one says, more demos are welcome. In fact, when I look at our leaders' behavior towards this country, I begin to lose hope for the next generation. That's from Bai and Sefi Bekwai. This one says, my sister, water is worse. My bill jumped from 20 to 58 cedis, and now it is 120 cedis. So you haven't added your name or location, but your bills have gone up. So now we know the ACG plans to reimburse consumers of energy, some of them, but are you doing anything different yourself to conserve energy?
When I'm not at home, I make sure my fridge is off. All the lights in the rooms are off. Anything that I will not be using at that moment is always off when I'm leaving the house. Yeah.
I conserve energy by putting off unneeded lights. Where there are no lights, where lights are not needed. And when they are not needed, as and when I need them, I put them on. And when they are not needed, I switch them off. Especially my deep freezer. Anytime I'm leaving the house, I make sure I switch it off. I switch the deep freezer off, leaving the small tabletop fridge alone. Yeah. So it is by so doing, I know it will reduce my bills. When I come home in the evenings, I know the things in the freezer are still caked. They are still caked, and I can switch on the freezer overnight. And then when I'm going out, I switch them off.
The high cost of steering, we conserve electricity. Nowadays, we don't use water heater. We don't use kettle. We use the stove. When we need the hot water, we use the stove to boil water.
This one is from Abriwaba PK of Paga. She says now it's all about using a timetable for appliances, especially the refrigerator, to help manage the prepaid. Well, on Airtel, it's twice as nice, twice as exciting, twice as fun, and twice as crazy with twice the data. Airtel gives you 100% on all your internet bundles from 1 Ghana cedis with Airtel double offer. Dial *125* to buy internet bundles and enjoy 100% instantly. I'll be right back. Before we go, this one is from Ibrahim Dinga in Pando. He says, I try to conserve electricity, but Charlie, still, the light bill is not easy. No wonder. The president's son, they enjoy Rolf, so he chooses to sing, claiming to be a musician, while we are struggling. Israel, that's the last one I can take on WhatsApp. Anything on Twitter?
All right, so what I wanted to share with the viewers is this video posted by Reggie and Boli, and we were talking about it during the entertainment segment. They posted a video that they've actually been signed up by Psycho, like Simon Cowell's
record label. Nice.
And they posted this video there, so you can get onto that. In fact, I'm going to retweet it on Joy News, so you can get to see it there.
Okay, and then we had a trending video, but I think we'll share that tomorrow. So
I guess
that's it for the interactive segment brought to you by Airtel. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good evening.
Joy News Interactive was brought to you